There are pains that words cannot describe. What if I told you that the person you are most angry at may not even remember what they did to you? And what if I told you something even harder to take in? That anger you've been carrying was never protecting you. It was slowly poisoning you. Because resentment isn't loud at first. It is polite. It smiles. It functions. It prays sometimes. It even laughs with people. But inside, it is burning. Let me ask you something that might make you a bit uncomfortable. How long can a heart survive carrying a memory that never stopped bleeding? Because some of us are not fine. We are just functional in pain. And today, I want to tell you a story. Not a perfect story, a real story. It's a story about a woman that you might just be able to relate to. A story that might feel just like yours. Welcome to Fly With Spyce, where we don't just talk about life. We sit in it, we feel it, and we name what people are too tired to name. And today, we begin a journey into something most people hide very well: resentment. The silent poison we learn to drink because no one taught us what to do with pain. So lean in, because this isn't just an episode, it is a mirror to some of us. I'm going to tell you about Amara, a woman, a strong and beautiful woman. Amara is not weak. Not in any way at all. Amara is the kind of woman that people describe as strong, resilient, the one who takes care of everything and handles everything, the one who does not complain, the one who says I'm fine so often that she starts believing it herself. But Amara learned something early in her relationship, that her voice didn't matter. Her voice didn't change anything. When she cried, she was told she was too emotional. When she was abused, she was expected to forgive and keep going. When she spoke, she was told that she was overreacting. When she stayed silent, people saw her as peaceful, so she chose silence. Amara's story, like every other story similar to this, starts from a place closer home. Often from the people you never believed or thought would hurt you, or situations you thought could be holding daggers to your chest. At first, silence to Amara felt like wisdom. But silence, like we know it, has a hidden cost. Because every time Amara swallowed a word she needed to say, the words didn't just disappear, it sank in, deep into her chest, into her memories, into her reactions. Amara was in a relationship where love existed, or so she thought, but understanding was lacking. Someone she loved deeply, who slowly trained her heart to stop expecting softness. He didn't always shout. He didn't always hit. But he was unkind in the most coldest of ways. And that sank in deep. We all know that neglect can be loud in its own way. The forgotten birthdays, the dismissed feelings and emotions, the mocked concerns, the unanswered emotional calls. And one day, something inside Amara changed. Not in a dramatic way, but quietly. Amara stopped hoping. And that is where resentment was born. Not in anger, but in hopeless expectations. It was a moment that Amara remembers clearly. She had come home from a very hard and stressful day. Eyes tired, voice dropping, heart very heavy. She tried to talk, just a simple conversation. "I had a really difficult day," she said. But he didn't even look up. Not because he was cruel or didn't hear her, but because he was often distracted and often used to dismiss her. And sometimes he didn't think it mattered. In that moment, something inside of Amara broke. Not loudly, not visibly, but deep inside her, internally. Because she didn't just feel ignored, she felt invisible. And invisibility is one of the deepest emotional wounds a person can carry. That night, Amara did not cry. She didn't argue. She just went quiet. But inside her, a sentence formed. If my pain doesn't matter to you, then you don't matter to my vulnerability either. And that is where the shift happened. She started to withdraw emotionally. She didn't leave the relationship physically, but she left it emotionally. She still cooked, still functioned, still smiled. She still did all that she had to do. But something had changed. She began to keep emotional score. Every ignored message, every dismissive response, every unmet need. She was building a case file in her heart. And she just didn't know it yet, how bad it is. But she was slowly becoming bitter. Now let's examine what resentment does, or what resentment really is. Resentment isn't just anger. Resentment is unprocessed pain that was never witnessed. It is what happens when hurt is not held, when tears are not understood, when apologies never came, when emotions are treated like inconvenience. So the heart begins to adapt. It says, if I cannot be safe here, I'll become very hard. And hardness feels like protection a lot of times, but it's actually imprisonment. Because now Amara doesn't just react to her partner, she reacts to her past. She's not fighting today's moments or battles, she's fighting yesterday's memories. That is why small things feels very huge. A delayed reply feels like rejection. A forgotten detail feels like disrespect. A neutral tone begins to sound like abandonment, because resentment does not live in the present. It lives in replayed pain. Now let's look at what the Bible says about your pain. The Bible doesn't ignore this reality. It names it. In Hebrews 12 verse 15 it warns, "See to it that no bitter root grows to cause trouble and defile many." Notice the language, roots. Because bitterness doesn't grow overnight. It grows underground, hidden, unnoticed, until one day it shows up in everything, in how you speak, in how you trust, in how you react, in how you love. And we're told in Ephesians 4 verse 31, get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger. Not because your pain is not valid or does not matter, but because your freedom matters more. God isn't asking you to pretend that you were not hurt or that events did not hurt you. He's inviting you to not let it become who you are, because what was meant to protect you can eventually imprison you. Let's talk about the invisible chains, shackles that we often cannot see. Amara didn't realize it yet, but she's now living in emotional chains. She's free to walk, but not free to feel. She's present, but not open. She's loved, but not receiving the love fully because bitterness does something subtle. It convinces you that protecting your heart means closing it. So now even kindness feels suspicious. Apologies feel that they come too late. Love begins to feel unsafe. And here is the hardest truth. The people who hurt you may not even be thinking about it anymore, but you're still serving the sentence of what they did to you. So what do you do with your heart like this? You don't start with forgiveness. You start with honesty. You tell the truth. This hurts me. Not your regular I am fine. Not it's nothing. But the truth. I am not okay. Because healing does not begin with pretense. It begins with acknowledgement. And maybe today, the first step isn't letting go of them, but letting yourself feel again. Because resentment is not proof that you're strong. It is proof that you were hurt and you never healed from it. You didn't become bitter because you're broken. You became bitter because something in you was never seen. But the moment you're fully seen, you don't need bitterness to speak for you anymore because healing begins. Healing begins when your silence finally finds a voice. I know this message spoke to a lot of us. Please do well to like, comment where you are in your journey, and share with someone you know that is struggling with bitterness or pain today. Maybe, just maybe, you are the help that they need. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.